Blog Talk Radio.
Hey, good morning. It is Jeff Altman, the Big Game Hunter, for No BS Job Search Advice Radio. It is Monday, March 21st, 2011. I'm in New York today, and that was quite a challenge getting here. I left my current home in PA. It was snowing there, which was quite a surprise for this time of year. And all the way in, more rain. It switched over from snow to sleet to rain, and the traffic became brutal. You know, it's the sort of thing that you have to contend with sometimes in life, but boy, it was unpleasant. And, you know, I got to New York with about 10 minutes to spare before beginning today, and it was not a lot of fun, I must confess. But I'm here, and I'm here to help you and talk with you about some things today, including some jobs I'm recruiting for. And I thought today I would spend a little time talking with you about working with recruiters, which is a subject I don't really speak a lot about because I don't want to make this seem as though it's how to work with me per se, or a focus on recruiters. But every once in a while I'd like to spend a little time talking about that because I know it's a source of frustration for so many people. Recruiters are these hostile alien beings we're thought of who don't really care about job hunters. And you know, when all is said and done, frankly, you're right. You know, it's not that we don't care, but you know, ultimately we're paid by institutions to fill jobs. So yes, we have to blend your needs with the individuals, but let's get practical. Who's paying? Who's paying for service here? Are you? I doubt it. So to expect a recruiter to wind up focusing on you and your needs is foolish on your part because they aren't. They're trying to find people to fill jobs. So you know, let's look at how to basically work with a recruiter. And probably the best place to start off with is how do you start looking for one? How do you find one that could be helpful to you? And probably the easiest place to start off with is with friends of yours, your professional network, individuals who you know very well and asking for recommendations. Obviously, these should be people within your own field, as opposed to if you're an accountant asking a lawyer, if you're a programmer asking, I don't know, a hairstylist. You know, it's obviously way out of left field to ask someone outside of your industry to find a competent individual, but one obvious place is, who does your firm use for recruiting purposes? If you're senior enough, you're involved in the recruiting process and you see who the vendors are. Everyone tends to be confidential about this sort of thing, but you know, you can look at who your organization is using as a recruiting source. Another thing I want to remind you is look for individuals who know your industry or know your specific field, because even though you may get a recommendation of, I'll use the example I used before, the accountant who's looking, who asks a friend of theirs who's a programmer, you know, that programmer isn't going to necessarily know a recruiter who focuses on accounting. I'm sure you'll get some nice advice from that individual if you get through to them, but you know, when all is said and done, they don't really know how to specifically help you. And that's not just simply about jobs, but it's about where to go, who to talk with, how to network, because it's always a little bit different in every field. You know, recruiters obviously serve a strong purpose for individuals, and that they have access to what's politely nicknamed as the hidden job market. That's the jobs that are not advertised on job boards or in newspapers as being available, and you want to get access to those because, frankly, that's where a lot of the positions are. Firms, from their vantage point, can afford to run lots of ads and promote what they're looking for, but you know, when all is said and done, the cost of doing that, and I'm not just talking in terms of the cost of the ad, but the cost of the labor to evaluate all those resumes, to politely respond to you, to phone interview inappropriate people, it's quite expensive. So rather than do that, many firms would rather just pay the fee to a recruiter to shield them from all this nonsense. And I must in all candor tell you, judging by what arrives in my inbox on a Monday morning, there's a lot of crap that gets forwarded out that in no way, shape, or form fits a requirement. So what should you do to get the attention of a recruiter? And this is the most important thing I can tell you. And there are two approaches. Number one is if you're working in a field that lends itself to executive search, or in a field where agents or recruiters are actually out aggressively looking for talent. By that I don't mean looking on job boards. Then the best way to get the attention of a recruiter is to put yourself in a position to be found. After all, you may do a great job for your organization, but if no one knows about it, if there's no publicity for you, if there's nothing on your LinkedIn profile, if you've done no public speaking, if you're not involved with any group or organization, you're making it hard to be found by anyone. So you need to put yourself in a position to be found. Secondly, if you're in a field that lends itself to contingency recruiting, then what you need to do, frankly, is submit resumes to job ads that actually fit the requirement. Duh. And I know that may seem obvious, but judging by, as I said, my inbox on this Monday morning and almost every Monday morning, people keep sending the same resume out over and over again to every single ad. And it's a waste of my time. It's a waste of your time as well because you're not going to get interviews. What you need to do is to tailor your ad to demonstrate the fit rather than just sending out the same ad. And if you're expecting a recruiter to call you in order to ascertain what it was that you saw in your background that you chose not to take the time to put into your resume, it's not going to happen if you haven't already noticed that. We're all too busy. In a job market like this, with so many people out of work, or in boom markets where we're out trying to find people to fill requirements, we don't have time to spend on a wild goose chase because, frankly, that's all we get is a wild goose chase. So I want to encourage you, the best thing that you can do in order to get noticed by a contingency recruiter is to actually have a resume that demonstrates the fit and makes it obvious to them. So, again, these may seem obvious points to you, but people don't do it. So I just wanted to bring these to your attention this Monday morning, and I'm going to move on to some of the jobs I'm recruiting for and remind you that if you're qualified, interested, and available, please email your resume to me at thebiggamehunter@cisny.com. And if you know someone who would be a fit for one of these, feel free to forward this audio to them or encourage them to get in touch with me. And if you don't fit any of these jobs, feel free to forward your resume. But I just ask that in the subject line, use the phrase on spec. This way I can get to them at my convenience as opposed to moving quickly on these. So, these are going to be technology positions that I have around the country. And I'll start off with one for an IT architect that I have. And these actually, I have roles like this in Teaneck, New Jersey, St. Louis, Dayton, Ohio, and Nashville. And they're basically for architects who are local to those areas with J2EE or .NET or SOA or cloud-based architecture to support a particular client in each of those locations. The salary would be between $100,000 and $120,000 per year, plus bonus. Bonus should add another $10,000 to $15,000 in additional compensation, but again, you need to be local. Also have roles for project managers in St. Louis, Dayton, and Nashville, Tennessee, for program managers who've run large programs that involve custom applications design. And to be clear, not infrastructure, not ERP-based, but custom applications design. Those are going, again, to about $120,000. Also need a .NET architect in Dayton, going to about $150,000 on a base. I'll also have a need for an ATG architect. I have one role in New York. I have one role in Dayton as well. Those are going up to about $150,000 on a base. I have a job in New York City for a WebSphere portal developer, going to about $130,000. A couple of years of J2EE background, experience as a technical lead, a couple of years experience with ORM frameworks like Torque or Spring or Ibatis, WebSphere portal background, experience developing with JSR 168 or 268 portlets, again, going to about 130, and that needs to be local. Have a role for a BIDW developer architect with a full Microsoft framework, going to about 125 on a base plus bonus for one of the large investment banks in New York. Have a role on Long Island in Valley Stream, New York, and that's for an Oracle data architect, going to about 110 on a base. Here they want to bring on someone who's worked as a DBA or an applications DBA or a data architect. Strong technical and internal consulting skills, a broad knowledge of IT technologies, and well-spoken. 8 years of background with Oracle on Unix, preferably Linux or Solaris. Performance engineering and tuning skills. Database skills involving 10G, or I should say 10G rack, OCFS, ASM in Linux and Solaris environments. A knowledge of RMAN backups, and Oracle utilities, and that's going to 110. And if you're someone who's tired of commuting, that's going to be a great role for you. I still need a number of people for a client who are BPM professionals who have a background with Pega, Lombardi, or Oracle BPM. I have a number of enterprise architects, program managers, and technical resource roles for people with that background. These require 80% travel. That's domestic U.S. travel. And then I have a role for a financial technical functional analyst who needs to be open to travel with experience in the equities, bonds, 5 years of in-depth analysis of equities, bonds, and derivatives, a strong business knowledge. Management consulting is a huge plus. They're looking for relatively senior people with consulting background. There are roles that are more junior and there are roles that are more senior. The more senior you are, the more that they're looking for people who have business development background. So basically, they're looking for people who have a consulting temperament and personality, who have a good understanding of financial services clients and capital markets. So, again, capital markets here is clear, an understanding of internal controls like SOX and process design and flow. Good background with SQL, preferably with Sybase. They want local people to the New York area. Visa transfers are available with at least 3 years remaining on an H-1B visa, and that's going between 100 and 160,000 on a base plus bonus. So those are some of the jobs I'm recruiting for, and thus I want to remind you, if you're qualified, interested, and available, email your resume to me at thebiggamehunter@cisny.com. If you know someone who would be a fit for these roles, ask them to forward their resume. If you'd like me to see a copy of your resume, but don't fit any of these, just put in the phrase on spec with your email, and just put that in the subject line. So there are other jobs I'm recruiting for, and if you go to my website, you'll find you can see those at jeffaltman.com. While you're there, there's some very easy to work with career builder links on the home page. There's access to JobSearch Universe, the meta search tool, where you can search a couple of thousand sites concurrently just from that one site. In addition, there are places to post your resume by clicking a tab called Links or Helpful Links on the top of the page. Lots of articles about job hunting, as well as the opportunity to receive a complimentary subscription to my JobSearch Easy No BS job search advice. I publish that every Tuesday as a way of providing information to job hunters about how to find work. So if you sign up today, which is Monday, you'll receive tomorrow's issue. It comes out every Tuesday religiously. So I hope you found today's show helpful. I'll be back with you next week on Monday at 9. It's Jeff Altman. Have a great day.
Carowinds knows it's hard to please everyone. Kids, we're easy. Coasters and water slides we can ride, some funnel cake, and we're set. Parents are tough. I don't want them to just be taking pictures all day. They need fun too. That's why I love it here. There are rides and slides that the tallest and the smallest members of my family can enjoy together.
Find thrills of every size for everyone at Carowinds, including Planet Snoopy and Carolina Harbor.
For a limited time, everyone pays kids' price. Only at Carowinds.com.
Carowinds hates spoilers. So instead of listing out every thrill you'll find at the park, we're going to just list off your reactions. In no particular order. Screaming, splashing, smiling, saying you're not nervous, being nervous, getting a second funnel cake, closing your eyes, opening them, closing them again, and having the best time ever. So sit back and enjoy the ride at Carowinds, including 4 new classic rides in the new county fair.
For a limited time, everyone pays kids' price. Only at Carowinds.com.